Welcome to Dmac Man Gaming. I'm your host Dmac, and here we believe gaming is a lifestyle, not a hobby. We're doing part 2 of my first impressions of For Honor, which is part of the series. Like I told you, I'm going to be doing 6 episodes for this series. So today in part 2, we're going to be talking about the battle modes, customization, and a little bit on actual gameplay far as stamina is concerned. Now with the battle modes, we're going to show you each battle mode and how the gameplay works in that battle mode, and we're going to look at customization to see if customizing your character gives you advantage or is it just more cosmetic. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the battle modes. Now there's different battle modes that are fun and there's some that are boring. Now you got 1 versus 1 duel, you got 2 versus 2 brawl, you got 4 versus 4 deathmatch or domination. We're going to go over each one of these modes with you guys, let you see some gameplay from it, and tell you the object of the game, which is pretty simple. So let's get started. So the first one we're going to look at is 1 versus 1 duel. And we're going to show you the actual gameplay of me battling in a one-on-one duel match. And you have to win 3 victories out of 5. You have to kill your enemy. And as you see, we're going really hard at each other, trying to defeat each other. And I want you to notice something in this gameplay. You see that little green bar below? That is your stamina bar. And as you see, if you pay close attention to each strike, when you block a certain attack and you get overwhelmed, it knocks your stamina bar down. If you throw too many attacks and miss one of the attacks, your stamina bar goes down as well. It's real interesting how heavy and light attacks affect your stamina bar in different ways. See, with light attacks, it only takes a little of the stamina, but when you do more of a heavy attack, it takes a lot, especially if you miss or they block and reflect it back at you. So you always got to be aware of that. And so the next thing we're going to take a look at is 2-on-2 brawl. So let's get right into that. Alright, the 2-on-2 brawl is a little bit more interesting because it's 2 against 2. And in this, you can revive your partner to help you defeat your enemies. So you got to be really careful here and you got to really watch it, especially if you're not playing with somebody that you know and is really serious about winning the match. This can get really annoying and really boring. A lot of times you got to be able to defeat your enemy and help your partner if your partner is having a hard time trying to defeat his enemy. It's really difficult. And a lot of times you get ganged up on. They run around the map and kind of entrap you. It's really about strategy and going into the match knowing what you want to do and how you want to execute it. But it can be a lot of fun when you're playing with somebody that you like. The basics to win 2-on-2, you have to win 3 rounds. Just like with the 1-on-1. No different. But in both of these, you can also set custom matches where you can have more rounds and have a lot more fun with it. So it's up to you. We're not going to go over that too much because you guys can see that in the actual game when you buy it. So the next thing we're going to do is the 4-on-4 deathmatch. Now this one is really interesting because it's a little bit more intense than the 2-on-2 and 1-on-1. So let's look at that. The 4-on-4 deathmatch is a lot of fun, but only if you have players that you know and that are going to be willing to actually team up with you and execute some strategy. Because with the 4-on-4, being isolated is a no-no because you will be double teamed because it's 4 players versus 4 players or 4 players versus 4 AIs, whatever one you want to do. And it's really difficult to win this without being able to eliminate your enemy and keeping them down. Now the best way to eliminate your enemy in a 4-on-4 is to execute them by using a heavy attack. Light attacks do not execute your enemy. If you do not execute your enemy can be revived by one of his partners. And this goes for the same thing for 2-on-2. If you do not execute your enemy, they can be revived again. If they be revived again, it's like you're in a battle and y'all all kill everyone except one, and then they start dying. And then they revive all 3 and you all by yourself. Yeah, it can happen like that. So really make sure you execute your enemy. And the last thing we're going to take a look at is 4-on-4 domination. One of my favorite game modes on here. So let's take a look at that. Alright, we're finna get to my favorite game mode out of them all, and that's 4-on-4 domination. Why is it a lot of fun? Because you have to capture zones A, B, and C. In each zone you capture, you get 100 points. Each team has an army that goes with them into the battle, and you either play defender, where you defend in the castle or the land that you are in, and the others are the attackers. And one thing about this I love about it, after you score 1,000 points, that's not the end of it. You have to eliminate the enemy, kill each and every one of the 4 players that are on the other team to win the match. So this, and then you have a time limit, so time can run out before anyone takes the victory. I mean, it's a lot of fun. It's not a quick match. It's a match that takes a lot of time, and if you're effective in what you do, you can dominate or you can get crushed. What I love about it is because even if your enemy hits 1,000 and you are marked to die, for them to come and annihilate your whole team, if y'all able to eliminate some of them and take some of the zones, it restarts all over again, and the zones are added up to your side. And if you hit 1,000, then they become the ones that are hunted, which is a lot of fun. I love this mode here. One of my favorite. I just hope that they have more maps in the actual game that's released on February 14th. So more maps, it'll be a lot more fun to have a little bit more diversity in the maps, because the maps can seem boring sometimes. But other than that, it is a fun mode to play. I recommend you playing it. You have a lot of fun, and it doesn't even matter if you don't have a set team you want to play with. You can play with AIs, with people that you don't know. You can still dominate in this match without having to really strategize with people. All you gotta do is be able to eliminate and capture zones, and make sure those zones keep them protected so you do not lose them. And once you get to 1,000, then eliminate the rest of the forces, and then boom, it's over. And each die you have a respawn. Now you start respawning when your enemy or you hit 1,000 points. Then if you die, you don't get respawned back. But if they're able to take one of the zones from the person that scored 1,000 the first time, then you're able to respawn again, which I think is a lot of fun. And you have a time limit, so I never played down to where the time limit ended. Never get that far, but it's a lot of fun. You'll really enjoy this mode. I recommend this mode to everybody. I really enjoyed it thoroughly. So the next thing we're going to talk about is customization, and we're going to wrap up the video there. Now, what we're going to talk about with the customization is, does the loot and armor and weapons and stuff you buy actually improve your character, or is it just cosmetic look? So let's go ahead and jump right into that. Alright guys, we're coming close to the end of the video, and before we end this video, we want to talk about customization. Now, For Honor, you can customize your character, and when you customize your character, it does improve your character fighting ability, and it also can hinder your character fighting ability. It depends on what kind of loot you put on your character. You got certain parts you put on your character. You got your helmets, your swords, different things to improve your character, and some things are just cosmetic. Now, when you choose things to actually improve your character, you got to check out the right side of the screen and look at what that item does for your character, because a lot of times it can increase or it can decrease certain parts. If it decreases maybe 2% of your resistance but increases your attack power by 3%, you may want to use these certain things. So you got to be able to balance them out and use the equipment as best as you can to customize to your playstyle, because you're going to be the one out there battling, and you need to be able to handle any type of character that you find online when you play online, especially with the multiplayer. A lot of times you need to watch what items you put on your character and what items you don't put on your character, because some items can increase some parts and decrease other parts, and then parts that they decrease may be important in certain battles, especially against Vikings, because these guys are monsters on here. So basically, when you can upgrade your character, then it can increase different parts of your abilities, like regenerating faster, healing. Some may increase your speed, some may increase your attack, some may increase your movement. Certain items increase certain things for each character. So make sure you stock up on a lot of loot before you start upgrading your character, so that you can have a balance, so that you won't be left off guard when you fight an opponent that is more balanced in your character. You don't want to be ass out when you fight a character that has this ability, that ability, and this ability because of his armor, and your ability on it, you lack one of them abilities and get slaughtered. So be very careful on how you upgrade your character and what kind of playstyle you want to do with your character, because it all depends on what kind of playstyle you got and what kind of character you have as well. There's some characters in the game that can use poison, and there's some characters in the game that use brute force, and some characters in the game that use more of a defensive type of fighting style. So it all depends on you. And I want to thank you guys for staying tuned to the end. If you like this video, make sure you hit that slash button, because I really appreciate it. And thank you for coming to hang out with me. This is Dmac Man Gaming. I'm your host, Dmac, and we are out.